Welcome to a pivotal moment in global affairs. The 17th BRICS Summit, which unfolded from July 6 to 7 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, has now concluded, yet its decisions are already sending strong reverberations across the international landscape. This gathering of major emerging economies, which now officially includes Indonesia as its newest full member, truly showcased the bloc's growing ambition to redefine the global order. While some key leaders, notably Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin, were represented by their top diplomats, the collective voice of BRICS resonated with clear demands for a more equitable and representative world. This summit wasn't just about economic cooperation. It was a powerful statement on global governance, financial autonomy, and geopolitical realities. The expansion of BRICS is perhaps one of its most compelling narratives, with Indonesia formally joining the ranks of Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and the United Arab Emirates. The bloc now represents an even larger swath of the world's population and economic output. But it's not just about full membership. A significant development saw Belarus, Bolivia, Kazakhstan, Cuba, Nigeria, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, Uganda, and Uzbekistan introduced as partner countries. This strategic move solidifies BRICS's role as a potent voice for the global South, aiming to integrate their perspectives more prominently into global discussions and decision-making processes. This growing coalition signals a determined push to establish an alternative world order, challenging the established power structures that have dominated for decades. At the heart of the Rio Declaration, adopted by BRICS leaders, was an urgent and unequivocal call for comprehensive reforms of global governance institutions. The message was clear. Institutions like the United Nations, the International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank, largely shaped in the 20th century, no longer reflect the geopolitical and economic realities of the 21st. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, the summit's host, underscored the crisis of multilateralism, advocating for a fundamental overhaul of the UN Security Council to make it more legitimate, representative, and democratic. He specifically highlighted the need for new permanent members from Asia, Africa, and Latin America, emphasizing that this isn't merely a matter of justice, but crucial for the very survival of the UN system. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi echoed these sentiments with forceful remarks. He lambasted the double standards often faced by the global South in areas ranging from development and resource distribution to security matters. Prime Minister Modi critically stated that two-thirds of humanity lacks proper representation in global institutions, and that without the global South, these bodies are like a mobile phone with a SIM card but no network, unable to function effectively or tackle contemporary challenges. He emphasized that reforms must be real, impacting governance structures, voting rights, and leadership positions rather than being merely symbolic. The call for updated institutions in an age of rapid technological change, like AI, was a recurring theme, with Modi famously stating, "You can't run 21st century software on 20th century typewriters." Beyond political representation, a crucial pillar of the BRICS agenda is economic autonomy. Building on previous commitments, leaders in Rio reiterated their push to reduce reliance on the US dollar in international trade. The emphasis was on increasing the use of national currencies for transactions among member states. This de-dollarization drive is not just theoretical. Initiatives like the BRICS Pay Payment System and the New Development Bank, often seen as an alternative to the Western-dominated IMF and World Bank, are concrete steps towards creating a parallel financial architecture. This push is motivated by a desire for greater financial independence and a hedge against potential Western sanctions, as seen with Russia. While challenges remain, the collective will to diversify away from the dollar is evident, representing a significant long-term economic shift. The BRICS Summit also took a strong stance on pressing geopolitical conflicts, particularly in the Middle East. In a joint statement, the leaders unequivocally condemned recent military strikes by the United States and Israel against Iran, a BRICS member. They declared these attacks a violation of international law and the Charter of the United Nations. This marked a powerful show of solidarity with Tehran, which has been urging accountability for what it describes as a war of aggression. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi warned that if Israel is not held accountable, the whole region and beyond will suffer. Furthermore, the BRICS declaration expressed grave concern about the situation in the occupied Palestinian territory, specifically citing Israel attacks and the obstruction of humanitarian aid into Gaza. The bloc called for a permanent and unconditional ceasefire in Gaza, alongside the immediate release of all hostages. This collective denunciation by such a significant bloc of nations underscores a growing divergence in international perspectives on the conflict and puts increased diplomatic pressure on all parties involved. Regarding the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, the BRICS declaration noted the member states' national positions as expressed in various international fora, including the UN Security Council and the General Assembly. While not issuing a direct condemnation, the leaders expressed a collective hope for success in current efforts to resolve the conflict peacefully. This measured statement reflects the diverse diplomatic approaches within the bloc while maintaining a shared aspiration for stability. Beyond these major geopolitical and economic pronouncements, the summit also saw the adoption of several forward-looking initiatives. These include a framework declaration on climate finance, signaling a collective commitment to addressing climate change with a focus on supporting developing nations. A statement on the global governance of artificial intelligence highlights BRICS' intent to play a role in shaping the future of this transformative technology. Additionally, the launch of the Partnership for the Elimination of Socially Determined Diseases showcases a commitment to public health cooperation among member states. In conclusion, the 17th BRICS Summit in Rio de Janeiro stands as a landmark event, further solidifying the bloc's emergence as a significant force in global affairs. From its strategic expansion to its vocal demands for comprehensive institutional reform, its push for economic de-dollarization, and its unified stances on critical geopolitical issues like the Middle East, BRICS is clearly asserting its vision for a more inclusive, multipolar, and equitable world order. This summit wasn't merely a series of diplomatic meetings, it was a powerful articulation of a growing desire for a fundamental rebalancing of global power driven by the collective aspirations of the Global South. The world watches closely as BRICS continues to shape the narratives and realities of the 21st century.